All right, everyone. Welcome to Simply Bitcoin, the channel that breaks down all the daily Bitcoin news from Twitter, the daily fail, daily meme review, the software releases, and when we get them, the websites by plebes. Drop us a like and subscribe. We're going with the numbers. Here we go.
Block Moody Dashboard.
All right. Current block height of 661,806. Current BTC price 22,700. Chain rewrite days 615, and the total lightning capacity 1,062.87.
Man, those numbers are looking great. Another all-time high compared to yesterday. For anyone that's new to the channel, Satoshi, the Bitcoin chicken clucks every time the price of Bitcoin reaches an all-time high, which it did today compared to yesterday's video.
Oh, dude,
so
we passed 23K.
It's absolutely wild. And okay. On that note, Phil, it's time for
the daily fail. All right. So when I first got into Bitcoin, I didn't realize, that like the traditional trading techniques don't always work with Bitcoin. So this is actually a pretty good. This is a trading fail that came across yesterday, and let's check it out. So our buddy Randy McMillan, fellow Bitcoiner, tweeted this out. Short story, and let's take a look at that story. Shorted on BTC at 20,008. He's expecting a correction in a couple of hours. Stop loss at 2105. You'll see, and he ended up closing the short. Because Bitcoin yesterday, for anybody who was watching, yesterday wasn't the day to short Bitcoin.
Dude.
Anyways, so obviously he ended up eating that. So this is one of the reasons I don't trade Bitcoin. I just hodl it. I buy the dips, and I'm a happy camper with that. That works for me.
But man, what I can't curse on this show, but what a idiot, man. Like, what?
Kidding me? You're shorting those candles? You're shorting that volume? Really?
Man,
man.
TA is such BS.
Hey, look, there's a reason that there's a reason that they say that charting is an art. I know that some people pretend that it's not, but it is an art. Okay? Because where you see a bullish pattern, someone else sees a bearish pattern. So it's
it's true. It's true. Actually, you know what? Now that you put it that way, it's actually very true. It does sound a lot like an art. And Phil, at that, it's time for
the daily meme review.
All right, everybody. It's a meme brought to us by a fellow plebe. His handle is RD_BTC. This is Nigel Farage. He's an epic guy, and let's check it out.
You all laughed at me. Well, I have to say, you're not laughing now, are you? You all laughed at me. Well, I have to say, you're not laughing now, are you?
Okay, dude. Listen, I know that it was short and sweet, but dude, that was a great meme. I'm gonna give it a solid score. I'm gonna give it an 8. What about you, Phil?
Again, man, I guess I'm just I'm the nicer one, but I'm going with the 9.
Okay.
The 9 on it. It's a solid. I mean, very easy to understand. Doesn't even have to, like, you know what I mean? Like, he didn't have to really change the messaging. Just one line right now, and that totally works.
Yeah, it was short, sweet, easy to understand. However, it was a little too short for me. So
okay. It was a little short, but it did make us laugh.
It did. That's why I gave it an 8.
That was great. Yeah.
That's why I gave it an 8. And Phil, it's time for
the Daily News, sponsored by
Crypto Cloaks. I guess this is more bullish news. This is more background stuff. You guys probably don't even notice this, especially if you're not into mining. But there's an excellent article today on The Block brought to us by Wolfie Zhao. And he's talking about the bidding war for Bitcoin mining hardware, right? And it's basically describing what the details is. Bitmain has raised pre-orders for prices for its flagship S19 series, right? And if you look at, you know, the previous articles, right? Riot Blockchain, it's a public company. They were actually buying these miners themselves, right? They bought 2,500. Looks like they wanted to buy more, but these were kind of, you know, out of stock, right? And if you look at the mining profitability for the electricity cost, I put around 5 cents industrial electricity cost. That's, you know, it could be lower, but just to be conservative, that is a good mining industrial electricity cost. Most people would say around 3 cents, but just for this, I'd put it at 5. As you can see, the S19 right now is killing it. This thing is printing $16 worth of Bitcoin plus electricity cost every single day. The Pro, right? That's the one that Riot Blockchain company bought. And why is this important? Why is this significant? Well, man, Bitmain is the biggest manufacturer, one of the biggest manufacturers of mining equipment in the world, right? And what tends to happen, right? If you look at the hash rate, right, is especially after the price of Bitcoin booms like it does, people go on this mining craze, right? They try to get all the miners they can get their hands on. I've been trying to get this miner since basically May of this year. And unless I want to pay like a scalped price, right, like a premium price. And remember, when you pre-order a miner, you're playing with fire, right? Because you don't know where the price of Bitcoin is going to be. You're not getting it, right? It usually takes, from experience, around 3 to 9 months to break even on a miner if the price of Bitcoin is going in your favor. So the fact that people are willing to place this many pre-orders, that Bitmain had to rise their price by 20%, man, that makes me feel extremely bullish on where these big mining consortiums think where the price of Bitcoin is going, because they wouldn't be investing this type of money unless they knew something that we did it, right? So what are your thoughts on this, Phil?
Yeah, I think that's a really good indicator, right? You know, they know that people are going to want to mine Bitcoin, and they're willing to essentially front run it. You know, so this is really, I mean, look, this is bullish, 100% this is bullish. And, you know, I don't know as much. Obviously, I say this every time we talk about mining. I don't know as much as I want to know, but every time I see stuff like this, it makes me think maybe I should do it too. So I could see how that kind of, like you said in your comment, how that happens, that, you know, the Bitcoin price goes up and then all of a sudden everybody's like, I want to start mining this and get my hands on all these miners. And I do remember back in 2017, I did go through a phase like that, you know, where when I saw that the price was rising, I absolutely wanted to get involved, you know, with mining. But I did all the math and it was just terrible. Especially where I am. I mean, the price is just ridiculous. Unless I could get free energy, it's just not worth it.
Actually, let's pull that up, right? Let's pull that up just so that we could kind of, just so that everyone could kind of visualize what it is we're talking about, right? You know, usually a residential electricity cost around the Massachusetts area would be like 16 cents per kilowatt hour, right? So the same S9, right, would be making you, sorry, S9, what am I saying? S19 would be making you half, or more than less than half of what it would be making you in a place that had 3 cents per kilowatt hour or 5 cents per kilowatt hour, right? So what Phil's saying is absolutely right, but it doesn't stop people from doing it anyway, right?
Why not? Give it a shot. It just takes longer to make it back.
Absolutely, and you might burn out your power outlets while you're doing it too. But yeah, man, it's crazy. It's absolutely bullish. It's just feeding. It's confirming all the other things that we're seeing, right? Like all the planets are aligning together, Phil. Right? Yeah. You have a huge investment in miners, right? To the point that they're being sold out. That they're back ordered, right? They're back ordered. They're only on pre-order. They raised the price 20%. You have hedge funds like Michael Saylor, public companies like Michael Saylor. You have 2 hedge funds that came out yesterday, right? They announced that they were buying. One of them was buying 600 million. The other one was buying 700 million. We had an insurance company that just announced $100 million that they wanted to buy in Bitcoin. All the stars are lining up for next year. Oh. And I really think that next year is going to be this massive year of Bitcoin. If you guys want to know more about why I say that as well, you guys should definitely go check out Plan B's Twitter. And he really explains why this epoch is different. And if you look at the 27 2017 epoch, right? It was based mostly on the retail, right? So like the everyday investor, this epoch, right, is going to be based on the institutions, right? And you're already seeing that all over the place. And PayPal announced, recently that it's going to add it to their payment methods for merchants. So man, this is absolutely bullish news, Phil. This was huge when I read this article.
So I mean, Plan B has me blocked anyways, but I just, I get that we are definitely in a different epoch and 100%, the feeling is different, but I just don't want people to pay too much importance, right, to charts and dots on charts. And a lot of it is confirmation of price, and it's based on models which, no asset has ever been like Bitcoin. So people don't really, you know what I mean? Like people don't really know what it's going to do. We want to pretend that it's predictable. We want to make it so that it's understandable. But at the end of the day, it's, nothing is, nothing is exactly how the chart looks, because it's absolutely beautiful. But I just want people to, be realistic about it. Sorry.
No, you're absolutely.
I totally respect what he does, but you know what I mean? I've charted before, and I know it's like I said to you before. It's an art, and it's just confirmation of previous price action.
I
draw conclusions, but again,
I absolutely agree. He has me blocked too. Apparently, it looks like we sided with one side on this show, right? But yeah, I absolutely agree. I don't necessarily agree with his prices and when they're going to hit those certain dates, but I do agree with the mythology of like this epoch will be institutional based. I do agree with that part, right?
Exactly.
So yes,
we got to be honest. Okay.
We do. It's very important. And Phil, there was a software release today. Why don't you tell everybody about it?
Software releases. All right, let's take a look. We've got Electrum version 4.0.8 that was released, and the link to that and details will be in the show notes down below.
Awesome. Thank you, Phil. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of Simply Bitcoin. If you like the show, you know what to do. If you love the show, subscribe and turn on that little notification bell. Ding, 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 ding. All right, we'll see you tomorrow, guys.